Utah yield for a question?
Yes, I will.
Madam President, I'd like to ask a question, but start by laying a predicate and then ask the senator from Utah's views on that predicate. I rise today to support the resolution offered by Senator Lee, calling upon the Senate to investigate and hold hearings about the late-term abortion practices in this country. This is especially important given the fact that we are seeing allegations of similar conduct to that of Dr. Gosnell potentially being performed in other locations across the country. Indeed, there have been allegations of similar conduct in my hometown of Houston, Texas, that I understand are being investigated by the local district attorney and other authorities and that need to be fully and thoroughly investigated. The crimes committed by Dr. Gosnell are almost unspeakable. The harm inflicted to the mothers and to the babies who were born alive and had their lives willingly extinguished, unthinkable. The actions detailed in the grand jury report depict a house of horrors. Knowing what we know now about what happened, everyone in this body should be supporting conducting an investigation to make sure there are not other Dr. Kermit Gosnells across this country. We need to make sure it is not happening to other unsuspecting mothers, that other newborn babies are not being murdered as they were in Dr. Gosnell's clinic. Specifically, this resolution states Congress and states should gather information about and correct abusive, unsanitary, and illegal abortion practices and the interstate referral of women and girls to facilities engaged in dangerous or illegal second and third trimester procedures. This body should be concerned what referrals were made to Dr. Gosnell and who else might be performing these late-term abortions in such horrific conditions. This resolution goes on to say Congress has the responsibility to investigate and conduct hearings on abortions performed near, at, or after viability in the United States, public policies regarding such, and evaluate the extent to which such abortions involve the natural right to life of infants who were born alive or are capable of being born alive and therefore are entitled to equal protection under the law. In my judgment, this is a resolution everyone should support. Everyone who proclaims himself or herself to be a champion for women and children should enthusiastically support this resolution. Many of these late-term abortion clinics serve underprivileged populations. Anyone who proclaims himself a champion dedicated to helping the most vulnerable should be supporting this resolution. And the Senate has an obligation to conduct oversight. Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion provider, in 2011 performed 333,964 abortions in the United States. From 2011 to 2012, Planned Parenthood received 45% of its revenue from taxpayer-funded sources. Almost half of its income comes from the taxpayer, and this body has an obligation to make sure there are not other Gosnell houses of horror practicing today. The conditions described in the grand jury report shock the conscience. They described how doctors and nurses worked without proper licenses. My question to the senator is, do you see how any senator of good faith, given these facts, could oppose this resolution?
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent, that I be given 60 seconds to answer the question, and then I'll...
Is there objection? Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. In short, in response to the question from my colleague from Texas, I do find it difficult to understand why anyone would oppose this. I also find it difficult to understand how this can be put on the same plate, as serious as other kinds of abuses are, as serious as other acts of medical malpractice may be. This one's different. This is about premeditated first-degree murder of the most defenseless, the most vulnerable people in our society. And I urge my colleagues to support it. Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President.